Hello, Silver Gauntlets! Welcome to your late evening and maybe even later night Zelda stream, depending on where you are in the world. I'm SadieSweet, and I am here with NarvilBase, bringing you a co-op Season 3 group stage matchup between Blue Fire Arrow Entry and Tacos del Chino. Narvel, this is gonna be a fun match.
Oh, absolutely. It should be a great matchup between these two teams. Just a little bit of record history. They've each played one of their co-op matches so far, both with Whopper something. uh, but Blue Fire Arrow Entry took the win in that match, and then Tacos del Chino lost that match. So there's a little bit of comparison with the common opponent, but it should be a very close matchup, and I'm looking forward to see how it plays out.
Yeah, our runners are just about to take off. I am going to just adjust that audio a tiny bit. We do have a base bot today to help us out with our notes because I could not get TSG bot to update today. So please, don't worry about commands. Baseball's got it handled today. All right, I'm gonna go pop in and tell the runners that we're gonna set them off, but yeah, can you remind us really quick, what are some of the things that we should know about co-op for anyone that has not seen a co-op match yet, especially because this is PSC friendly. We might have some Pacific Coast people here who haven't been able to catch a match yet.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the big settings here, we've got Dungeon Entrance Randomizer on, which really affects how these seeds play out. We've got chest appearance. It does not match contents. So every chest will have its vanilla size and texture. You will have to open every chest to see what is inside of it. In addition, some of the other major settings that are sort of going on here, we've got Scrub Shuffle on, Affordable, and Chop Sanity on as well. And that covers most of it. We've got a couple of dungeon shortcuts on, namely the Shadow shortcut, Forest shortcut, and Jabu shortcut. And looks like about 5 seconds away from getting this race on its way.
Yes, and chat, please tell me if audio sounds all right. This is always the part that I'm not really able to balance right off the bat, so I have to kind of like go by my monitor, but you all tell me if it needs to be raised or lowered at any point. So we are starting with Requiem today, which is really, really great for chaining those songs together, and that gives them more routing choices in my opinion.
Yeah, always great to have a warp song to start out with, and it's so powerful that even though usually you tend to split up your openers, we've got everybody heading out to the Colossus to pick up that song. And we get one of our always hints, Claim Check is dead today.
Yep, and the song they're going to get out there is Song of Storms, which is really nice. That's going to open up another dungeon entrance, because remember, we are playing with entrance shuffle, so Fire is sitting for us out here at Spirit today. And something else will be in Bottom of the Well.
And another important part, with Scrub Shuffle on, Song of Storms also unlocks a bunch more scrubs, so that's a lot of checks enabled by that as well.
I really love Scrub Shuffle as a setting. I think that it adds not a lot of difficulty, but some interesting routing, especially with like Lake. It gives a little bit more value having to get those scrubs out there, and we all know that I love some Lake.
All right, and we got a bunch of always hints outside the Temple of Time, Scrubs, 30 Skulls, and missed the last one there. Oh, Frogs 2, we're all dead.
Was also one of them.
Yes.
Yeah, getting some good, sometimes information, that's going to help, especially knowing about 30 Skulls, knowing about Worst Scrub, knowing about Frogs 2. Like, it's like they can mentally mark that off as we don't need to worry about that. Additionally, isn't 40 and 50 Skulls turned off for this setting?
Yes, that's correct. 40 and 50 and, like usual, Master Truth are all disabled for this. And then one other setting that I failed to mention earlier is that the Rainbow Bridge is for dungeon rewards, so we can have pretty early access to Ganon's castle.
Yeah, and that also means that Strength 3 could potentially come into effect, and there could be some items in Ganon's Castle that could help steer us towards the last couple of dungeons we need. So that's worth keeping in mind.
Yeah. And then, of course, as typical, Ganon's boss key is on 6 medallions.
So far, nothing in the Kakariko shops by the look of it. Specialize is going to go ahead and buy a shield. Team buy a shield winning today.
Yep, definitely buying a shield can be pretty important with Dungeon EAR. You want to have that Hylian shield in case you end up in Deku Tree as an adult.
Finding Dins on River Scrubs is also a pretty big deal over there on Wafa's side.
Yep, once we find magic, that Dins will open up an entrance, and the shadow entrance is accessible as both adult and child.
Did I see that right? Was that double wallet lock fire arrows in the market potion shop?
I didn't quite catch if it was double wallet locked, but it was definitely wallet locked, and that is a double wallet locked bomb bag.
Ooh, gross. Thank you, Triple, for double checking that for fire arrows. Yeah, fire arrows were only 180 rupees, so it's a single wallet locked. But that double wallet locked bomb bag is kind of gross. Wafo just found a bow as well in River, so it seems like River's the play to start off the seed today.
Yeah, River paying out pretty well. One important aspect, River's usually a strong play for hints, and that's certainly still the case here, but there are no Wath or Path hints in co-op.
I do find it interesting. We're seeing this immediate divergence, not just in where they're going, but how they're going there. Because Naestriel has decided to go child, but both members of Taco del Chino are staying adult and just clearing adult together.
Yeah, it's definitely great to see that sort of divergence early. Sort of a matter of opinion on, if you want to divide up the adult stuff early, just because you want to get that song from CAC and everything, or just going full split with adult and child. So seeing that difference of opinion play out here is good to see.
What's your opinion? What do you think's the stronger play, to spread out as adult or to spread out by age?
Me and my co-op partner have been spreading out the adult checks and then having one go child earlier, just because usually you're going to want that Sphere Zero song from the windmill. But there's definitely strong cases either way. Definitely don't play well enough to have an authoritative opinion on that.
No, that's fair, that's fair. I do not pretend to have an authoritative opinion either. Although I try... Okay, well that's not true. I do pretend, but it's not authoritative by any stretch of the imagination. Ooh, getting ZL from the ranch early is a great find for Blue Fire Arrow entry.
Yeah, that's going to help a lot. Know that's there. Wouldn't be surprised if you might see Specialized go child a little earlier than they might usually, just to be able to pick up CL.
Virgil, I believe that both of our runners are on kind of West Coast-ish time. I'm not sure exactly what time zone that is down in Mexico for Vela and Wafo, but we're West Coast partying tonight.
Oh, and Mirror Shield on Dompe Race.
Interesting. We do have a required spirit today. So, skipping Dompe is not the move today.
No, it is not. But thankfully, they'll be able to pass that information on to their partners, and no problems there.
Yeah, especially because both teams got to see that. And we got a forest song in the windmill and Song of Time in the minuet spot. Interesting. Okay.
And I believe we just saw a hint for Burning Cack as Prelude.
All right, excellent. We do not need to worry about that today, which is great because the Burning Cack medallions suck.
Yeah. With the right dungeon entrance layout, it's not terrible, but there's still some pretty heavy requirements for both those dungeons.
Yeah, and could be even more requirements depending on which entrance they're in. So far, we only know about where Fire Temple is, which is out at Spirit. But not sure about any of the others yet. We are just about to see Dodonga's Cavern entrance on Specialize's side. So let's take a look. Oh. Okay.
Speaking of Shadow Temple.
Well, we know where that is.
Yeah, so the big pickup there is just going to be the hover boots. Depending on key layout, that I believe, since we know where a bow is, that might be enough by itself with the shadow shortcut on. Chat, feel free to correct me if I'm forgetting something there.
Yeah, and Naestriel's about to show us the well. What's interesting about the well entrance is that whenever you open as child, it will stay open as adult. So it's actually great to see Dodonga's Cavern here because Naestriel can come back and do this as adult. We do not have a forced child DC today.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to see that a DC is not forced as a child. That's always something you kind of hope doesn't happen to you.
Yeah, there is nothing that sucks worse than finding out that that DC is in Jabu. That is like the worst feeling in the world. Although DC today is a stone, so it might not be even required, but it is very early in the seed.
Yeah, very early in the seed, and also even more dense with the scrubs enabled.
Ooh, I didn't even think about the scrubs in there. Yeah. We do need to find a way to get into it, so we're going to need to find a hammer, we're going to need to find a strength, we're going to need to find a bomb bag or 2 wallets. So there's a couple different ways we can get in there. And yep, so everyone knows the TSG bot has gone rogue today. It is not updating, so Baseball is going to be doling out hints at her discretion. So just say, hey, Baseball, and Baseball probably has the answer for you.
Yeah, saving a little bit of money farming from Vela with all the scrubs and shops on. You definitely want to make sure you've got some rupees in your pocket. Looks like maybe a ranch route, which you've got some extra scrubs in ranch. Me and my co-op partner have run out of rupees getting ranch scrubs before, so heads up play to refill that wallet.
Yeah, I think I've seen a seed or two where there's been some kind of rocky rupee management, which happens. That is a benefit of not having chest size matching content on, because it is more likely that you're going to pick up more rupees as you're opening chest, but it does not always guarantee you the exact money that you need when you need it. Well, okay, but that might. Oh boy. I am going to need a lot more Moscato tonight. So that is a wallet in the Kokiri Forest sword chest, which means that we can now buy those fire arrows, which we can't really use for anything unless Shadow... Wait, but we can use dens for Shadow Trial too, can't we?
I always am a little hazy on the Shadow Trial 2 logic. Definitely dens can be used, but I think the requirements are different based on if you have dens versus fire arrows.
Yeah. Dens plus long shot. I was wondering if long shot was involved. Yeah.
Some bomb shoes in Mido's house. Good old logic breakers.
Yeah, so fire arrows has technically like less requirements for Shadow Trials 2. We'll just need to find a magic, if that winds up even being relevant. But as mentioned, Gan's Castle opens with 4 dungeon rewards, so we can get into it earlier today.
And the Kokiri shop is dead today.
I feel like I haven't been seeing like a ton of useful stuff in shops on the few co-op matches that have been restreamed so far.
It all depends on if wallet's early or not. If wallet's early, no, there's absolutely nothing in the shops. But once you've got required items in the shops, your wallet's in deep fire.
Oh boy. Well, we do have required fire today, so...
And we've got Sun Song on OOT, so
Ooh.
hopefully don't have to do all dungeons, but
I love a Sun Song's OT though, because it is an OT that if it is required, you just can't skip it, and you will not know if you need it till like the end of the seed, especially in a mode like this where you don't get pack hints.
yep. Yes, some of the good news is the dungeon layout isn't too bad for stones if they have to get those, and to be quite frank, you know, they might end up doing DC and Forest Temple just to get into Ganon's early. But if that one check happens to be something, that Water Temple could be a real pain.
Yeah. So Naestriel is the first inside bomb of the well, which is inside of the Deku entrance. Really nice that Naestriel got those bomb chews before coming in here. This routing is working out great for him.
Yep, Bomb Choose ZL. It's going to be a great bottom of the well. The interesting thing about not having chest appearance matches contents is well is routed a lot differently. And if you're a bad runner like me, you forget that sometimes and your routing turns horrible in the dungeon. But Naestriel remembering to route well differently.
Also, am I seeing this right from Vela that we are getting chickens?
It would appear so.
Chicken fans, congratulations! You got an early chickens check today. Ooh, this is going to be disappointing on Wafo's side, because he is about to walk into bottom of the well and not be able to do anything.
Yeah. One of those unfortunate things. It makes a lot of sense to go to Deku as adult here. You know, just you walk faster, but not paying out here. Some more bomb chews in the coffin and bottom of the well.
Yeah, might be worth picking them up, honestly, and it looks like Naestriel's gonna do it.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Don't know where those bombs are going to be, and you know, once you get that second pack of chews, you probably have enough to last you most of the seed, especially when it's another 10 pack.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing is horrible yet, but it is kind of scary to start the seed by seeing a double wallet locked bomb bag, knowing that that is one of 3 bomb bags that you're just not gonna get for a while, most likely. And that is Saria's song inside the composer's grave. That is a check that Naestriel hasn't gotten over to yet. And we're also getting our first look at Goron City on Wafo's side.
Yeah, we do not have a hook shot, unfortunately, in terms of getting the scrubs that are here. But I'm forgetting about Song of Time. So we can get these scrubs, and it should be in Logic as well.
That might have been Epona's song, Tim. I could be mixing them up because honestly, I do that. They are very, very similar songs. Oh, it started on up? Okay, I did not catch that start on up. Thank you, Shannock.
And we've got Specialized doing Child Fire Temple.
Oh. Oh, that is that's a choice. What checks can Specialize do in here as child?
I believe, the one that they're in right now, I believe if... No, they don't have the bomb choose yet. So it is pretty much just going to be
Are they
this
able
check.
to check the doormat, the one right by the boss door?
I think you can with a jump slash, and I think that one might possibly be in logic, but I can't quite remember.
What was that hint about strength upgrade that Wafo just read?
I did not catch that one.
GTG center chest? Thank you, chat. Yeah, so the final prize of GTG is a strength upgrade. Now we need to find where GTG is.
And it wouldn't have to be, but it seems pretty likely that that would be a strength 3. You'd have to dodge keys in any of the 4 checks in the push block room in GTG for it to not be strength 3.
Yeah. Alright, so it does not seem like Bomb of the Well really paid out for Naestriel. Other than those bomb chews, there really wasn't anything.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate, but you wind up in bottom of the well early, with most of it freely available. You definitely clear that out every time.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's not gonna lose them a ton of time, and I can tell that, honestly, I bet that Vela is gonna be in there pretty soon whenever she gets the bomb chews out of my nose. It seems like Naestriel's really pushing skulls for his team, but I'm not seeing any of Tacos del Chino pushing skulls super hard.
Yeah, it's... When 30 cents a dead, you don't feel super good about pushing 10 and 20. Oh, there's a hook shot in the Redead Grotto. Okay.
Ooh. So whenever Blue Fire entry finds that bow, they'll probably want to dip into forest. See, actually, they don't need the bow. They can just dip into the entrance. Right. Duh.
Yep. Whoever dips will hopefully grab Song of Time first, because even though the shortcut is on, we still have to find boss keys, so there's no guarantee you can beat that dungeon. But with Song of Time, you at least get quite a few checks and the chance to beat Ganon, Phantom Ganon.
Assuming that Forest Temple is in there.
Oh yes, you can and will check the Forest Temple entrance.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna pee, because... Yeah, at this point, basically, one of Blue Fire Era entry really needs to go up river. That's where that Dins is, that's where that bow is, and that's gonna give them a little more direction.
Right, Specialized grabbing the BGS out of Hyrule Field. Early enough that it's a decent time save.
You want to know what would be good here, Specialized? You want to know what would be a really good move? If you just went to Valley. With as little as y'all are finding, you could just go to Valley.
It's definitely not out of the question. The Valley Lake play gets a little stronger with the additional scrubs in Lake. Of course, where Specialized is now, they might only do Lake and skip out on Valley.
Yeah, And I'm feeling that. I get it. I understand it. I don't have to like it. I have updated my Nightbot command in honor of co-op.
Perfect.
Our Notebot may not be functioning, but our command bot still is having fun.
You are getting Valley out of Wafo, so congratulations, Sadie.
Excellent. Okay, so I am cheering for Tacos del Chino now. Sorry,
And the
Naestriel.
Specialize.
Oh.
It's a double Valley play.
Oh, double Valley. That's you know what? I am happy with that. I'm happy with that. And honestly, I do think this is a legitimately good play. You want to find a bomb bag somewhere that is not double wall locked. Why not just clear out your overworld checks, clear out your Sphere 1 checks, and then you can start doing some of the weirder stuff.
Yeah, especially there's really, not a lot in logic at the moment. The bomb shoes, help get around. That said, unfortunately, Valley is not the answer today. At least not this part of Valley.
Yeah, and then that was a claim check is dead today, so we don't have to worry about Big Goron. But let's see if Lake has anything. Because Lake scrubs, I think, are one of the easiest scrubs to just not do. Mostly because if you accidentally grab the owl, you're pretty much never coming back.
I would agree. If you accidentally grab the owl, that's getting missed for a while.
Which does happen on a not irregular basis. Like, I have seen some absolutely incredible runners absolutely accidentally grab that owl before trying to check the scrubs.
Gold Mask has a Zora tunic.
Okay.
I'm assuming our runners will not be getting that, but at least they know where it is.
Yeah, they have the choice to be fashionable if they so desire. Ooh, and Wafo's using this as an excuse to head into Zora's domain.
Yeah, Zora's domain, a much better play than usual with the shop adding 4 more items. So, good to see it here.
Yeah, let's see if the Specialized goes and checks the scrubs or heads straight for... Yeah, Specialized is going to check the scrubs. Okay, I'm going to be interested to see if there's something here.
Ooh, Final Ice has the hover boots.
Oh, we have to do that.
Rush Ice, as soon as you can find it.
Yeah, lot harder to brush ice in these settings. It is interesting because we have that Eponas. That does mean that GTG entrance is in logic. Maybe could be ice out there.
And looks like the lake scrubs were dead.
Yep, do not need to worry about those today. But good for peace of mind to just get them out of the way. We also have Naestriel about to check rolling big rolling Goron. What's this dude's name?
I prefer Hot Rodder Goron, but Rolling Goron I hear a lot as well.
Hot Rodder, yes, that was the name I'm trying to think of. Gosh, you don't commentate for a month and a half between tournaments, and all of a sudden you forget everything. It's like, what are any of these dudes called? We're playing as Zelda, right?
We, in fact, are. Why aren't any of them Zelda the Goron?
You know, that seems like an oversight.
And we're going to get to see a pretty neat trick from Naestriel here. Going to go ahead and do the Goron City spinning pot with bomb chews.
Oh, come on. First try, Naestriel. First try. Come on. Show us what a gamer you are. Woo!
$50.
That was useless, but that was nice to see. That's our restreamer, folks.
And the Goron shop is dead.
Yeah, other than that bomb bag and potentially the fire arrows, nothing in the shops today. Wait, does the bomb chew shop in market randomize?
Yes, the left side of the bomb chew shop also randomizes, so...
Yeah, because we haven't gotten a chance to check night market, and especially with Suns on OT, that's going to be a little bit tricky for our runners to route in.
Yeah, definitely a tricky one to get. You know, might see them route in Hyrule Castle Ferry to try to fix Tom of Data, get that check, and do night market.
Yeah, I would assume that whenever either Naestriel, Specialize, Wafo, or basically whenever one of the runners goes back adult, I would be surprised if they don't go ahead and route that in, unless they just get the perfect items that they need to just rush something.
Specialize, finally heading to river, so Blue Fire Arrow entry is going to get some information on that Dins and bow.
Oh, I actually completely forgot about that until I was looking at everyone's items, but one other thing that's interesting about co-op is they all get to start with Furor's Wind, which is not useful until they find magic, but it is something that all of our runners have right now.
Yeah. Trick's definitely, you know, finding that magic, but especially with Dungeon Entrance Randomizer on, that FW can be a huge help.
Yep, and Specialize is now getting the Din's Fire, so Specialize is going to also find that bow here in a little bit. It is being pointed out by Shannick that Specialize is going to be able to get a check that Tacos wasn't able to get. They're going to be able to check Frog's 1. Because since Wafo came here so early, he didn't have storms on him.
I think they had storms, but we're just doing it as adult. But
right, you can't do it as adult. That was it.
That's I wouldn't be surprised if Taco's still chino when Vela goes to get it. They might go as child just to clean up that last check. And if they do, they'll be rewarded with the Stone of Agony, like the Specialize.
Well, not punished, I guess, if they don't come back.
I mean, with Strubs on, there's so many hidden grottos that matter now. You know, they might need that in order to find some of those grottos.
Yeah, just in case they forget about one. And that was Shadow 2 hinted, so we don't have to worry about any crazy logic there now. OoTR, hello. Welcome to the late night shenanigans. Or late evening shenanigans, depending on which half of the earth you're on.
And interestingly, we do see Naestriel and TheSpecialize sort of converging at the same area, which isn't always what you want in co-op. But with the fact there's some major items here, you know, they're both willing to come here, so not too big a deal.
At this point, the only shop we haven't checked is the Bombchu shop. And I would be surprised if our runners don't go back adult soon, because we're not finding anything that's really helping us as child.
Yeah, between the the hook shot and Eponas, as well as knowing where DC is and wanting to do that as adult, there'll definitely be a lot to do as adult.
So, question for you, Narvel, because I'm looking at this item spread and I am wondering, where would you go first? Would you go check the forest entrance, or would you go check the GTG entrance?
Yeah, so in the specialized shoes, I'd definitely go ahead and check the forest entrance first with that minuet. Depending on the timing of if they both go adult about the same time, you maybe split that up. Have one go in one direction into forest, and the other go towards GTG.
Their team does have it nicely split up because Naestriel's the one with the Eponas right now.
Yeah. Specialized will have to go get that hook shot, which they just did. So I would imagine that's the split we'll see from the BFA entry.
Yeah, honestly, it has been so long since I have commentated co-op. I think co-op was the first tournament that I ever tracked for, and I'm not sure I've ever commentated for a co-op match. So it's taking a little bit for me to get into the mindset of, oh yeah, you have two people, they can just go do both.
Yeah, and you definitely might see someone go into DC instead of one of those. Particularly it is a little bit slow to get to GTG, and we are so light on items that, without magic, and probably or possibly without the items need to be the dungeon, you hate to go out to GTG, find it's, say, Spirit Temple. Well, it wouldn't be Spirit Temple, but say, I don't know, Forest Temple.
Yeah.
And, find that you can't beat it and have to hike all the way out there again. Whereas you know that you're going to be able to beat DC with those bomb shoes.
Yeah, because Forest Temple would actually be very unfortunate to be in GTG at this point, because you can do some checks with what we've got, but without a strength, we can't really get past block room.
Yeah.
Virgil is asking, in this instance, would it be worth it to find ice and do ice as soon as you have a bottle?
Yeah, definitely, like, if you're able to find it and you have a bottle, I think it's a pretty solid play. You need those hover boots. The hover boots could help you out in forest, because with the forest shortcut on, 3 key becomes a little bit more than just a time save. You can use it to actually possibly get a boss key or something off of checkerboard room and skip doing more of the dungeon. So definitely, if ice is possible, it's probably going to get done.
Jastar, depends on who you ask. Ask an ice rusher? Absolutely yes. Ask someone who's following the logic here? Also probably yes. So what you're saying, Dasar, is ice is the answer today.
Alright, and we are not seeing the Bum2 shop from Specialize, so we'll have to see if Naestriel picks that up, or if that's just going to get saved for a more convenient time.
I don't blame him. I do worry that it's hasty to leave behind night market checks, especially because there could be a strength there. There could be an extra bomb bag there. But basically, there could be something in night market that would allow Specialized to finish out a dungeon as adult. And if Naestriel's staying behind to do those checks, Specialized is going to have to come back for those things anyway.
Well, looks like there was something on the volcano. Oh. Our second wallet. Okay.
Okay, guess what? We can get bombs. Wait, is that in logic? I don't think that's in logic.
It should
wait, we have
be
scale.
Yeah, we have scale. So that should be in logic.
Wow. You wanna know what would be funny? If that's our first logical bomb bag and you literally cannot get to the other two without getting both wallets.
You know, at this point, it would not be that surprising. But it definitely would be funny.
That kind of explains why Specialized went ahead and had an adult. Like, he probably saw that at some point. And really, really wanted that bomb bag, which I do not blame him for.
Yeah, and so this will work out to get the bomb bag and then be able to check bomb shoe bowling, and then possibly they might change the time of day out towards the castle to come back and check night market.
Yeah. Yeah, and then be able to communicate that to Naestriel, and they'll be able to decide, like, well, does Naestriel wait for time of day, or does Naestriel just head straight adult? We are getting a little bit of time of day on Wafo's side. Which is good, because Specialize is not waiting around.
Yeah. With DC now and Logic and a bunch of other things, I mean, we've checked a lot of the explosive locked stuff, but knowing that DC's in Logic now, I think it's okay to skip Night Market. It looks like Naestriel might be picking it up, actually.
Yeah. Specialized will have a whole dungeon that he can go ahead and go do while Naestriel does these night market checks, so that makes a lot of sense.
And we are going to see Specialized checking what's inside Forest Temple first.
That makes sense. Check Forest Temple, see if there's anything you can do in there. If not, you can go do Tatanga's Cavern while you wait for intel from Naestriel. Makes sense.
So, good news is it won't be hard to get back to Ice Cavern, but the bad news is no bottle.
We're in a bottle hunt, y'all. And there's also nothing in the bomb chew shop.
What would be even more fun is if we're not in a bottle hunt, but all the bottles are locked behind blue fire arrows.
Yeah, are blue fire arrows just turned? I guess they are. I guess they have to be, because there's not like draft settings or anything. It would be fun if we found blue fire arrows and then we could just do Ice Cavern with blue fire arrows.
Yeah. We will also have to find magic, so it's more of a pipe dream than anything else, but who knows?
Interesting. that Vela decided to just go right out to the bomb chew salesman in Wasteland and buy some more bomb chews.
Yeah, it works out, and they're going to be able to check to see what's in GTG. It's probably the main factor here. They know it's in logic with Eponas, but still might as well go this way if you can.
What do you think is the benefit of checking this GTG entrance on Taco's side?
I think it's probably just going to be, a split trying to do different areas. Knowing where your dungeons are is just very powerful in general. As I mentioned, it is a bit of a risk if it's a dungeon you can't beat and you have to come back out here again. But you can still often get some checks done, and just the extra info is useful.
I also just realized as I asked that question that they don't know where the hookshot is yet. They haven't gotten a chance to check the Redead Grotto.
Oh yeah, and that would definitely color their choices here as well, because you can get to this, completely in logic with that Eponas, whereas obviously the Forest Temple entrance is not an option at all.
Yeah, or at least they don't realize it's an option yet. Both of them do have Bolero, but I'm not sure that they've checked the volcano and realized it's another wallet.
Yeah. Just saw Wafo take a look at it there. Hopefully they were able to make out that it was a wallet there. There's definitely a few frames there where it was clear, or clearer, but...
Yeah, I think Wafo's probably trying to figure out whether or not it's a wallet or a bomb bag, and hopefully he puts together that it doesn't matter which it is, either is going to get him bombs. Oh, I did not put together earlier that Jabu Jabu is frickin' inside of Fire Temple. That's a fun. Who put a fish in the volcano?
Some nice seared fish.
Ugh.
Jabu is one of those dungeons that's, you can't do the whole thing as adult, but you can do a couple of checks and it's faster to do as adult, so you get to see this scrub, and could at least potentially see Wafo take Rudo letter, take Rudo up to the first floor, because that's faster as well, but that's more of a commitment as to whether or not you're going to full clear Jabu.
Yeah, I think that if you have to do Jabu, setting yourself up so that's a little bit faster later is a good choice. Alright, we're about to get a 10 skulls check on Naestriel's side. 10 skulls was not the answer today.
Alright, and we're about to see what's inside GTG from Vela here. It is vanilla. Is this even rando? Now this is a little unfortunate. Vela does not have the hook shot, does not have a bomb bag to do, bomb bag or hover boost to do hookless GTG.
That is 2 keys off the bat in the lobby though.
Yeah, and the Song of Time will get us a couple more checks as well. But just a little unfortunate to not have that hook shot.
Yeah, chat, it's definitely worth counting keys and GTG, keeping an eye on Vela side to see if we have access to that center chest. Because how deep is the center chest? Is that 7 keys locked?
It's logically 9, but
9.
7 is what's required.
Yeah, it might be worth it if Vela can suss out 5 more keys to just go get that strength.
Yeah, if that's possible, you definitely like to see it, but just without the hook shot and those other tools to do hookless GTG, I don't think there's any way Vela can get enough keys. You know, could get bailed out with maybe, you know, the lawn shots over here on this side. $200 is on this side.
That's
nice.
pretty sweet. That's a complete wallet refill.
And we're now seeing Naestriel reversing. You know, they might, you know, go ahead and pick up those bomb shoes since they're there. But I think most likely this is more of a play towards the GTG entrance. And Naestriel with that hook shot's gonna be able to do more of GTG.
It is so sad to watch so many runners walk through Wasteland and not be able to do the check.
It's alright, I'm sure they will definitely reverse later for only that check.
I'm so glad that you you know how to soothe my ego. Like that's like the Zooter comms equivalent of soothing whale noises for Sadie. It's like, don't worry, they'll come back for Wasteland, it's okay.
You know, Naestriel's gonna run out of bomb shoes again. Won't bother to pick up the bomb bag, and they'll have to go buy the carpet salesman again.
Oh, if anyone on stream would do it just for me, it would be Naestriel. Naestriel was very apologetic that he could not make a note sheet for his own race, so.
Alright, so Vela is going to do all of this hookless GTG setup, which will get them one more check. But they're not going to be able to get up to the eye statue room and all of that.
Yeah, having 4 keys so far, though, is pretty promising for them. We also have Specialize being the first one inside Dodongo's cavern.
Yeah, just about cleared it, it looks like. Don't think we've... A bottle. Well, that will be good. BFA entry has the information where Ice Cavern is, so they'll be able to pick up hover boots.
Yeah, as of right now, it does seem like Blue Fire Arrow entry has a bit of a lead, just not in terms of checks, but just by virtue of they've gone the places with the items that they need to have to go more places. That does mean that Tacos really needs to find that hook shot to be able to catch up a little bit, but we've still got a lot of race to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So many items we're still looking for. You know, other hookshot can be somewhere freely available. You know, I don't think that check's gonna get orphaned forever, but it definitely is the sticking point here so far.
Yeah, so let's see if Specialized finds anything else in the Dodongos. Because all we got left is King D himself. Oh,
Ooh.
oh, that is Rudo's letter on Vela's side.
That is very useful. That is hard required access to one dungeon, and then, of course, logical access to whatever's in Ice Cavern.
Yeah, that means 2 more entrances that tacos are going to be able to check.
Yeah. Let me look at this dungeon layout, see if I can figure out if we have the knowledge to know what's in.
I think inside of Jabu has to be Deku at this point.
Yep, because we've seen DC, Well, and Jabu, so yeah, you're correct. It must be Deku.
So that means ice has to be forest or water or spirit.
Let's see. Yes, ice would have to be forest or water.
Have we found spirit yet?
We haven't found Spirit yet, but Spirit does have to be accessible from both ages.
Oh, right.
And now that Specialized has that bottle, it's headed right back into Ice Cavern.
Does that mean spirit at this point would have to be in the Shadow Temple entrance?
I believe that is correct. I was avoiding saying it because trying to deduce where dungeons have to be is where I made a big goof last time I commed. But I'm pretty sure that is correct.
Oh yeah, the deduction of entrances is not my forte. I got a little bit better at it after last season of Challenge Cup, but it's still not great. So Shannick did a little bit of reconnaissance as Naestriel is going through GTG, giving us a little bit more info than Vela did. And the strength in the center is logically hammerlocked, which is good to know.
All right. Seeing. Have we seen enough to know if it's logically strength 3 or not?
I don't think we have at this point.
Okay. Alright. And Wafo is picking up his second wallet, so I would imagine, maybe not immediately, but we'll see that bomb bag pick up to check some of those hard bomb lock checks.
Yeah, according to Shannick, if either Eye Statue or Pierre Chest are not keys, then it is Strength 3. Because that would mean all the other keys are behind the Silver Block room.
And speaking of the hammer, it's here in Ice Cavern.
Oh. Oh. Huh. Well,
We've got a foolish song, but 2 hard required items in Ice Cavern.
yeah, so that is going to mean that, probably Specialize is going to head over and do fire pretty quick. Can you do fire without strength?
Yes. Not logically, or it depends on where the boss key is, rather. But these runners for sure will be able to do Fire Temple without strength.
Good to know. Yeah, because if Specialize is able to do Fire Temple, then he's only going to need 1 more dungeon reward to be able to go check Ganon's castle, which very well might have the other things that we need to complete this seed.
Yeah, it is a definite possibility. In addition to, Ganon's being a very dense area normally, you've got the 4 extra scrubs from Scrub Shuffle as well.
it's confirmed that the center chest is strength 3. So there are 2 other strengths out there somewhere else in the world.
Yep, but Naestriel will definitely not complain about an out of logic strength. Should enable a couple more checks. Potentially. Mostly enforced if we find it.
Yeah, giving him the option to clear forest is nice, if only to give him that 4th dungeon reward if for some reason they can't do something else, but honestly doing Deku and Jabu is probably the best choice for your 4th dungeon.
Yep.
So
Of course,
you
the
go D5,
problem
go do
is...
Deku.
Yeah.
And speaking of Deku, that's actually where Vela is right now.
Now all the bottles are turning up in the seed.
Oh, I swear to God, if all the bottles are here in Deku. Because that's bottle locked. Magic on the roof of fortress.
Oh, and Tacos did not have hookshot or hover boots to get that magic while they were there earlier.
No, they did not. And Naestriel is not gonna give me what I want and not go back to Wasteland, but that's fine. That's fine. I get it. But that is an option for later, Naestriel, just in case you forget.
On the plus side, you're getting some more valley checks, ones you don't normally get.
I love some more valley checks. You know, if only Naestriel had the hammer, then we could also check hammer rocks.
And there's a bomb bag in Deku Tree.
Yeah, so that bomb bag and a strike. Huh. That's bomb locked, right?
Yes.
It's really looking like that double wallet locked bomb bag was our first bomb bag.
Yep, that's the way it can often go in these co-op settings. You know, thankfully those wallets were relatively available, although the twist to need the scale to get the second wallet was a little bit mean.
Yeah, just a tiny bit mean. And Specialized doesn't have the magic.
That's right. They'll come back once they have magic. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, Naestriel has come back to do horseback archery, so maybe Naestriel will go back while Specialize is getting through GTG. Just figure out if Wasteland has anything. It would be really funny. It would be so funny if our last strength was there.
That would be really great. Nope, that looks like a warp song.
That's fine. I get it, Naestriel. Don't want to give me anything. First you can't give me a note sheet, now you won't give me Wasteland.
I'm a little surprised we didn't check the shadow entrance, but I think that they've worked out that it has to be We said it has to be Spirit, I think.
Yeah, I think it's
So
gotta be Spirit.
yeah, so they'd have that worked out. So without Strength 2, no
Yeah,
need to
so
open it up.
Naestriel would probably realize that he's gotta come back here as Child if he wants to do anything in there. We also had a very clean Goma fight on Vela's side.
And there's love for the effort.
Yep, and this is actually a really good point to go ahead while our runners are kind of retracing each other's steps a little bit. To give our 1 hour shout out if our base bot is ready. So just really quick, shout out to our runners for agreeing to like have this late evening math restream. On the team Blue Fire Arrow Entry, we've got Naestriel and TheSpecialize. And on team Tacos del Chino, we have Vela and Wafo. Shout out to our trackers again for agreeing to this late evening stream. We have Baseball, who was our first person to sign up literally like 10 minutes after I said I wanted to restream this match. So thank you, Baseball. We also have Viva, Mick Collier, and Shannock. Shannock is being our awesome no cheat person. Thank you, Shannock. And then we've got our commentators. We have myself and we have Narvel, who signed up at 4 a.m. my time and made it so that we could have the stream happen. So thank you so much, Narvel.
No problem. Happy to be here, and of course, thank you, Sadie, for restreaming this matchup. The definitely a very important job for somewhat obvious reasons.
Yes, and if you are someone that is usually awake at this time of night, this is now the best time for me to restream on weekdays. So please come volunteer. We do need more trackers and we do need more commentators as well. So we would love to have you if you want to come, you know, make more matches happen.
Also, if you're a runner, schedule all of your races for this time so Sadie can restream them.
Yeah, if you, because we not gonna call anyone out, but there are a couple matches on Midas House that really need to get on the schedule. Yes, Baja, you can follow the link to pop in our Discord. I would love to have more Pacific Coast time matches because there are some of us that are awake at this time of night that want some Zelda to appreciate. All right, so with that said, Vela found the hook shot. So now Tacos have the information that they need to make some progress.
Yep, so they've just had quite a bit open up for them. Definitely gonna want to push that hook shot as soon as possible, see what's inside the Forest Temple entrance. They'll at least have a bottle ready to go to clear out ice, and they'll be picking up the hammer and hover boots.
Yeah, and we have a Specialized inside of Shadow Temple, which is honestly great at this point. Is there anything Specialized can't do at this point?
Again, logically, you might need a strength in the the spike crusher room. But yeah, looks like with that loadout, Specialized should have everything they need.
I always forget that the Spike Crusher room logically needs you to have a strength. Logic.
Why use logic when you can do the one clip allowed in standard?
I need to learn that clip, but Shadow Temple continues to terrify me as an adult, so I kind of avoid going into it as much as humanly possible.
I can definitely relate to that. That was definitely an issue for me when I first started racing. The key is to make sure the music is randomized, so you get fun, not spooky music in the Shadow Temple.
Yeah, I need to really sit down and give myself some fun music to randomize my seeds to.
But yeah, we'll should see something interesting here if you're new to co-op or new to the Shadow shortcut in general. We'll have to see how Specialize routes this. But Shadow Temple plays a lot differently with the Shadow shortcut enabled. It ends up being a lot closer to something like Water Temple, where you have sort of multiple places you can go that are all kind of similarly key locked. You know, it can be pretty common. You'll see routing through Shadow Temple in reverse a lot of the time. But we'll have to see how Specialized wants to play this.
I think doing it in reverse at this point is not a terrible choice. Especially because how does the block push room, because I am super new to Shadow shortcut being on. How would the block push room impact like accessible logic? Because at this point, is Specialized able to get all the way to the boss logically?
Yes. So with the Shadow shortcut, there's a couple of more things than you'd expect happen when the Shadow shortcut's turned on. So first of all, the truth spinner is already set in the correct position. You know, not a huge deal, but it's a nice little time save. The second thing is the block for the shortcut is already pushed and next to the ladder. So that's completely available. That's the most important part of the Shadow shortcut. And then, sort of lastly, you have the pillar knocked down already at the end of the boat ride. So it makes key logic very interesting. You can see that Specialized is using a key to go backwards into this room after going through the shortcut. The gist of it is pretty similar to Water Temple, where you only really need 2 keys to do the whole dungeon, you know, unless you find some items that you need in addition to the boss key and get a little unlucky with the layout. But it can be logically required, and often is logically required, to ride the boat to get some keys from the Din's room and the manager, and then go back through Shadow Temple. But often you will see runners do what the Specialized is doing, is go through here in reverse, look for some items, and if necessary, save scum back the keys and then go through forwards.
Yeah, and that's part of why it's really nice to just have Furor's win from the get-go. And at this point, they already have magic, so they'll be able to utilize that as well in this routing.
Yep, FW is a huge help in Shortcut Shadow Temple. I mean, also decent help in normal Shadow Temple. But, you know, putting that together with the magic, you know, because you can in Dungeon ER find yourself in Shadow without magic and be able to beat it, but still need, you know, Dins for the, you know, the wooden wall room. But having the full kit here is going to mean that it should be, you know, pretty straightforward to find everything that Specialized needs here in Shadow Temple.
Naestriel's going back child, going to turn in the Rudos and probably go to Deku.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. In you know, one of the sort of bigger strategies with co-op is, you know, take advantage of the fact you don't have to be in only one place at a time. So, you know, go through your dungeons to figure out what you can and can't go mode. You know, Deku's relatively dense. You know, in the scheme of things, not as dense with scrubs and shops turned on, but still a relatively dense dungeon you definitely want to check out, especially as Medallion.
Yeah, and that will get Naestriel his second dungeon reward. So far, he is the only runner that does not have a second dungeon reward, which does put his team a tiny bit behind Tacos in that regard. Interesting choice to pick up the fire arrows, Naestriel.
Yeah, that is a little bit curious with with the Dins already acquired.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what he might need that for.
Yeah, because I think really the only other thing that can matter for is Shadow Trial 2, but we've already been hinted that. I believe BFA entry has seen that hint.
Yeah, I can't remember if they have. I know Taco saw it. They have. Thank you, Shannon.
Yeah, that's true, Shannon. It can save on magic a little bit. I definitely like to have fire arrows when I'm in Shadow Temple. Or in Spirit Temple.
Oh, Naestriel picking up the Deku Stick upgrade. That's nice. Got those Deku Sticks refilled.
And I should note for your future co-op watching enjoyment, it didn't matter for this seed, but fire arrow entry is allowed and set to easier fire arrow entry where you only need to light 5. So fire arrows can be very important in that sense, but again, with the Din's location this seed, fire arrows aren't really logically relevant here.
Oh, I did not know that fire arrow entry was allowed in co-op. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting, and for my skill level, I'm glad that it's easier fire arrow entry that's turned on.
Yeah, I think that's a fair compromise. I think that's a fair compromise, especially with the dungeon entrance randomizer. I do think that's nice to give fire arrows a little more utility if you do come across them.
Yeah. And it's not, 100% cancellation of Dins either, because like this room that the Specialize is in, you still need Dins to get these checks. If you need to get into the Shadow Temple entrance as child, you need Dins. So FAE is not a get out of jail free card by any means.
Yeah, I think that with the dungeon entrance rando, it's totally fair to turn on fire arrow entry. So that's exciting. That's cool. And like Shannon said, I'm excited to see it in another match.
Speaking of things we're excited to see, it's the manager.
I want to find a reskin for the wall masters where I can stick just like a very terrible bob on them. Just make them look like a very unhappy manager.
That'd be very, very fun.
You know, Link always gets all the fancy fun reskins, and I think that the enemies deserve a couple of funny remakes. Ooh, Naestriel got bodied.
This is the real reason why Slingshot is logically required for Deku Tree.
All the
Just so you get past these skulls.
Yeah, as a child that was greatly afraid of spiders, I had my dad do Deku Tree for me so many times. It's like, I can do DC all day, I can do Jabu, but it's like, hey, Dad, will you go stab the spiders for me? Thanks. Alright, so Wafo's about to get that strength. And Vela is chasing after Specialize inside of Shadow. Our teams are still really close to each other.
Yeah, it's definitely anybody's race. We've got our Strengths and Mirror Shield for Spirit. We know we got our Hammer for Fire Temple. Um, for the most part, it's looking like this Boomerang is sort of the last main piece of the puzzle we need here.
Yeah, and I would not be shocked to find the Boomerang just chilling inside of Gan's castle. If I had a nickel for every single time Boomerang has just been chilling inside of Ganon's castle. I also didn't put together, but because of Blue Fire Arrow entries routing and being able to have that hookshot earlier whenever Naestriel went into GTG, Naestriel's our first person to have the silver gauntlets, but that also means that Naestriel's going to be the first one to go tackle Spirit.
Yeah, and you know, as much as Boomerang loves to hide in Ganon's, it could easily also hide in Spirit Temple. Quite a few checks there as well.
Do you think that Naestriel will take the time to go check it as child?
I think since they're already child, they might go ahead and take that opportunity. You know, I don't think they'll climb, but I could see them doing the first two child checks.
Also, that was a second magic inside of Spirit Shadow Temple. And a second scale.
Yeah, even now, second magic finds a home in Shadow Temple, even though not quite the same magic block.
All right, Naestriel's got that second dungeon reward on the board. Let's see where he goes next. Yeah, Shannick's pointing out that basically the only places Rang can't be are Saria's lock checks, since Jabu gets us our Sarias today. So, it's a real Rang hunt, y'all. Where do you all think it's gonna be? Narvel, where do you think it's gonna be?
You know, I'll go with, you know, the tried and true. It's gonna be on highest Goron.
I am going to put all of my faith and belief in Wasteland is gonna come through, and they're going to just have to go back to Wasteland at some point. That would truly make this the most incredible seed I've ever witnessed.
Alright, so I have to ask, is it better for you if someone goes to Wasteland early and gets the item they need, or is it better if everyone last location's Wasteland and they have to go there?
Oh, it depends on how much I want the runners to suffer that day. But no, legitimately. I do think that it depends a little bit on how long the seed is running. I think that last locationing Wasteland in like an all dungeon seed, it hurts and kind of and does stop being fun at a certain point. But I think like last locationing in air quotes, like near the end of a like kind of gross and kind of long, but not terrible seed, that's funny. And that's the kind of thing I love. So I think last locationing it in this seed, where it doesn't look like we're gonna have to do all dungeons, that's delicious. Hello, Engel. Welcome in, Raiders. You're here for the party hour with DJ Bongo.
Coming in to catch some sick beats from Bongo. Got a co-op S3 race going on here. Pretty close matchup so far. Seed's been pretty stingy, but starting to open up, getting some dungeon rewards.
Ingle, I love that you had that emote just ready to go. Incredible. And wow, I blinked and that Bongo fight was over. That was a short DJ set tonight from DJ Bongo.
Alright, and we were wondering, but we did get to see Child Spirit out of Naestriel. Looks like we had a small key in the first chest, and then just some junk on this second one here.
Interesting. Finding a key does technically mean you need to go child, but And that's the third dungeon reward on Specialize's side. Probably gonna run to get something done for that last one. Oh, it does have to dip into ice. Yep, that's right.
Looks like, yeah, they've got their items from ice, just making use of the quick way to use FW. Okay, gonna grab Ruto's letter and the other strength.
I forgot about Furores. Yep. Yeah, especially now that Naestriel's confirmed that you can get strength right now with the items that they've had, strength 2. Specialized is probably gonna want to get that quick. I suspect that we're going to see Naestriel back in Shadow, or back in Spirit here in 2 seconds. Yep. So Naestriel's going to be able to map that out for us.
Yep, and for his partner's sake, is gonna hope that there's a key available on the adult side, I'd imagine. That way, the go mode will be a little bit faster for Specialize.
Yeah, this is... these two teams are really closely matched. It definitely seems like BFA is ahead by a little bit, but, like, Tacos is right on their tail.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the thing with the co-op settings or the co-op tournament is the race is determined by the average of the 2 times on your team. So even if BFA were to put a time on the board first, that doesn't necessarily mean that Tacos is out of it, depending on where their finish times are as well.
Yeah,
and vice versa.
One thing I'm noticing, the one thing I'm thinking about is that they know the keys that they need to get in GTG, but Specialized is still gonna have to go through, grab all of those, get the strength, and then also get over to Deku to get that other strength.
Hello, long shot. Put that back where it came from, or so help me.
So help me. Okay. One of my favorite games is to figure out what the worst case scenario for our runners could be. What if you have to get Iron Boots out of Wasteland to go do Central Pillar in Water Temple for the boss key, because you have to get Sun Song to get Boomerang out of Sun's Grave?
Yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much covers the worst case scenario.
Yeah. Okay,
less exotically, that does logically put the water entrance into play, since we have gold scale and now launch shot. And Janet keeping us honest, letting us know that there was no key on the adult side, so that child spirit trip was hard required.
Ooh, that sucks. And that could also lose a little bit of time on Taco's side, depending on whether or not they attempt to dip in as adults or not.
Yeah.
But hopefully Wafo does the same thing that Naestriel does and goes and gets that spare key. And also, Tudos, thank you for the raid. Welcome in. Tudos raiding with a party of 22. That's delightful.
The branding king over here.
Yeah, welcome into this co-op race. We are basically in a boomerang hunt at this point. We know where everything else that we need is at, except that. So we're just waiting to see where that shows up. Oh, I am so sorry, Tudos. 50-minute hunt for a first hook shot for go mode. Yikes. That is painful. Where did it wind up being by chance? Frogs won with
Oh no.
Oh, I am so sorry. Frogs are completely dead in this seed, so you do not have to worry about any frogs tormenting you, reminding you of that seed. Well, what you have to know that's interesting about this seed right now is that so far it looks like our first bomb bag was double wallet lock. Our wallets were pretty accessible though. One of them was on Crater, but we had a scale to be able to go by beans. And is there anything else that has been weird or interesting about this seed, Narvel?
Not too much. Sort of a thing that sort of differentiated the two teams here is that Taco Stelchino missed a hook shot in Reed, Grotto, and Cac for a little while, so that made their routing a little more difficult. But they seem to have recovered pretty nicely, and we still have a close race going on.
Yeah, there were bomb chews in Midas House that Blue Fire Arrow Entry chose to use on the Reed Grotto, so they found out the information about where that first hook shot was super early. That let them get a lot of like dungeon information and also let them route things, I think, a little bit smoother than Tacos has been able to. Additionally, we did see Lights. Lights is in Spirit Temple today, so it's not something that we're going to be hunting for. Actually, the biggest thing, that reminds me, the biggest thing that the hookshot got Blue Fire Arrow Entry is it got them an early magic, because magic was on Greedo Fortress Roof, and whenever Tacos went to GTG, they weren't able to get that, so that was information that really helped BFA move along a little faster, and it also let them get the logical strength 3 from the center of the maze, so that's why BFA is a little bit in the lead right now. But it's really going to come down to where that boomerang is and who goes there first.
Naestriel making use of that lawn shot they found in Spirit Temple to go ahead and get this check. Which is nothing. We're not lawn shot locked in Spirit Temple.
And oh no, Wafo lost his shield.
I believe Naestriel lost their shield in Spirit Temple as well, so it's infectious.
Those keys are gonna get you.
And that is a... Well, I haven't seen the image drops in it before. I was trying to tell if Naestriel had magic left or not. It looked like no given save and quit. Not quite sure.
Yeah, Naestriel does not have magic right now, but does have 20 skulls. So that's gonna be something he's able to turn in after this. Additionally, while BFA may be ahead on information and a little bit on routing, Tacos does have more medallions done right now.
And it looks like we're seeing Specialize go ahead and clear out Fire Temple, having all the items needed for that.
Yeah, and Vela is also there as well. While Wafo has gotten the information about the single key on Child Side Spirit, this is actually great routing on Taco's side because Vela is going to be able to get the Fire Temple layout, while Wafo is going to be able to get the entirety of the Spirit Temple layout and be able to tell Vela, hey, you gotta go back, child. Sorry.
And Bosky, Vanilla, and Spirit Temple. Is this even rando?
Is this even rando? First we have GTG actually in GTG. Now Vanilla, Bosky, and Spirit. Next thing you're gonna tell me is Water is actually in the Water Temple entrance.
Let's see, did we get to see the Vanilla Boomerang chest checked by anybody?
We did not. Not that I remember. Chat, correct me on that, because I will not pretend that I did not get distracted. Okay, we did? Okay.
Alright. Because that would have been a fun option for Boomerang.
That would have been a fun option for Boomerang. Look, I'm just saying that my Wasteland bet, Wasteland is first pick but I do think it would be way funnier for it to be in the Sun's Grave. Because so everyone knows, the only other thing that's weird and the only other thing that could be interesting is that Suns is on OT today. And we basically got everything to do all dungeons. Except irons. If we need them. But we might not need them.
Yeah, logically, if it were to be all dungeons, we'd need those iron boots. But definitely, unless Boss T was in Central Pillar, or Boomerang in Central Pillar, we wouldn't need those irons.
I do think that either of those options would be great, and it also wouldn't be the first time that I've commentated a match where we last locationed OT Suns to go do Sun's Grave for Boomerang. Like, I know that I have commentated a race with this exact scenario before.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, it's so unlikely, surely it wouldn't happen.
Surely it wouldn't happen, and much less twice in a commentator's life. But it does. It does happen, and it's great when it does.
Also, I believe we just saw our logical strength 2 on Specialize's side.
Oh, Oh, that was in Fire Temple. I didn't even put that together, but yeah. So that means we now know the location of all of our trees.
That's one less thing to complicate our boomerang hunt.
Yeah, and I mean, we've said this before, but as a reminder for everyone, our Rainbow Bridge is 4 dungeon rewards. So once Specialized beats Fire Temple, he'll be able to just go get that last strength he needs and then go check Gan's castle. And Boomerang could, and very likely is, just sitting inside of Light Trial. Which would be boring and disappointing and not fun. I want fun. I want to torture our runners.
Yeah. We're only an hour 38 into the seed. We can wish horrible things upon our runners.
Yeah, usually at the 2.5 hour mark, I stop wishing terrible things on our runners just because I start getting tired. But until we hit 2.5 hours, like, all bets are off. And yeah, Shanna summarizing the seed quite succinctly. 2 wallet-locked bombs logically required for, like, everything this seed. This is the capitalist seed.
And notably, we haven't found our Tycoon's wallet either, so it may have been needed exactly those 2 wallets.
Yeah, very possible by this point. I don't think that there are any checks left live that could have gotten us those bombs. Oh, not quite getting the 1 cycle on Naestriel's side. And Wafo is going to be caught up to him here in a little bit. It is interesting that Wafo and Vela are going to hit 4 rewards at roughly the same time. So they're going to be able to kind of choose who goes and checks Ganon's castle.
Yeah. It'll be curious to see if one of them does go once they hit 4, because each of them should still have dungeons, progression dungeons they can work on. And so while Ganon's is dense, you know, you typically still would want to just push your progression dungeons here.
Yeah. Especially because you'd want to hope you could find that boomerang along the way. Although
Exactly.
after they've done these 2 dungeons, they will have mapped all of their medallion dungeons except Jabu, correct?
I believe that's correct, yes.
Yeah, so one of them could start speeding through their dungeons, trying to have a faster time, while the other person just checks and tries to find that boomerang in Ganon's before kind of coming and catching up. Because, as mentioned, it is an average of times. So even if one person finishes first, that doesn't guarantee that the whole team is going to finish first.
Right, and it looks like we're going to see a check of 20 skulls from Naestriel.
Ooh, if this is boomerang, that could be bad for tacos. But it's not. So we do not have to worry about skulls today, especially with 40 and 50 off. And 30 has already been hit to death.
And there's the boss key on the compass chest in Fire Temple.
Yep, and Naestriel is going to go ahead and go do Shadow Temple, which, good call. So probably while Naestriel is doing Shadow, I would be surprised if Specialize doesn't go and check Gan's Castle, and from Gan's Castle, he can go to Child, do Deku, get that one key for Spirit, and then come back Adult. That's what I think BFA's routing is going to be.
Yeah. I think whoever's going to go into Ganon's is going to want to grab that Strength 3 first, which I believe for Specialize is sitting in Deku. Is that correct?
I think you're right. So Specialize could check it after doing Deku. Or after doing Deku and grabbing that one key for Spirit.
Yeah, so I think that's probably what we'll see. Specialize go Deku, pick up that strength, and then go into Ganon's would be my thought.
Yeah, because that would give Naestriel time to do Shadow and then go do Fire while Specialize is getting the child cleanup and then going into Ganon's. Especially because after Specialize checks Ganon, Specialize can tell Naestriel, hey, you need that strength, or no, you're done, don't worry about it.
Alright, and BFA not taking any chances, gonna clear out the Flare Dancer to check Hammer Chest to make sure it's not the boomerang, basically.
I think that's a good move on their part. I am noticing, did Specialize come up here and check the Pierre check?
I believe I think Specialize had to have checked Pierre.
I think so too, I just don't explicitly remember it. 4 screens is a lot harder to keep track of than you think it is.
Alright. Yep, so Vela just checked Pierre, and is a heart piece. And there's our last key, so Volvagia has the last item, the Fire Temple.
In my defense, Virgil, I am drinking some evening Moscato, so that might be part of what's making it a little hard to stare at things. But also, I have the stream open in 3 different places, so I literally have 3 versions of 4 screens, so that's 12 screens altogether open on my computer right now. Because I have Discord, I have OBS, and I have Twitch. Alright, so Wafo's almost done with Spirit. Vela's almost done with Fire. The assumption is that they'll switch. One of them will go do the other, and one of them will probably check Ganon's.
Yeah, they're in a similar boat where they're going to want to pick up Strength 3 most likely before going into Ganon's.
What I'm assuming is that... Because what's the strength that Vela's missing? Is that the one in GTG? I believe it is. So I'm assuming that Vela will be the one to go check Ganon's castle, and Wafo will go do fire.
Yeah, I think that's probably correct.
Yeah, because I think Vela also still has to go child to go get that key for spirit. Now the hope is that Vela left Furores in GTG and get back there quick.
Yeah, I don't. If I remember correctly, that's not an option because they didn't have the hook to get the magic above Fortress, so probably.
Oh no, I didn't even think about that. Ugh, that sucks for her. Okay. Yeah, then I think there's a chance that Vela checks Ganon's without getting Strength 3. I don't think it's a good move. I think you should just bite the bullet and go back out to GTG, but... And it could also be a case that Shannock's mentioning where Vela just goes ahead and does Spirit, does the age change and all of that, and lets Wafo decide, hey, do you need to go back to GTG or not? Because it would be a huge time save if Vela doesn't have to.
Yeah. And, they might be thinking, after the late hook that, they can't afford to dip back to GTG like that, so we might see some aggressive plays in that vein.
Yeah.
And Specialize getting a check that's, I find easy to forget anyway. The Strength 2 locked Scrubs in Desert Colossus.
Ooh, smart to go ahead and do this. And I wonder if this means, hey, Specialize, you gonna give me my check?
I think you're pretty likely to see your Haunted Wasteland. Nope.
Dude, God damn it!
Those Scrubs are close. Haunted Wasteland's too far away.
Hold on, I have a... Fine. I get it, but I'm just saying they're gonna be real disappointed whenever that boomerang's just chilling out there. Y'all can quote me if that does happen. Shannock, I did literally mention that earlier. Like, so in my defense, I am thinking in every direction as to how we could get ourselves to Wasteland. I am always thinking about how can we get ourselves to Wasteland. And speaking of getting ourselves to places, Vela is in Ganon's. So did not pick up that Strength 3.
Yeah, so we'll get some good info, and they'll find out how likely it is they need that Strength 3.
I understand the play, and I understand really wanting to get this Gan's Castle info. I don't agree with it though. Whenever Vela can still go do Spirit Temple. And just leave it for Wafo to share. I mean, unless the thought is that Vela wants to try to find the boomerang before going back child, so she can just clean up Jabu. I guess that makes sense. Oh, okay, I guess I get it.
Yeah, and you won't have to duplicate the effort in Ganon's. And so, especially if they can work out some good FW placement, it might not be too bad. Alright, and from Naestriel we are seeing entering into the Water Temple with the long shot and gold scale. That is in logic. Checks in water aren't in logic without gold scale, but getting into this dungeon is. And it's the Forest Temple.
This is an interesting call when, again, we can still go do fire. I don't necessarily disagree with it, but again, this is some very aggressive play we're seeing from both sets of runners.
Yeah. I mean, the flip side is, you know that there's
Oh!
nothing. Oh!
Oh!
It's Indians on the scrubs.
And all of a sudden, the pendulum swings the other way. That is a huge bit of knowledge for Tacos del Chino.
Yeah, that is very big.
Because now, Blue Fire Arrow entry is on a timer to get into Ganon's castle as quickly as humanly possible. And unfortunately, Naestriel's committing to this little bit of forest. Hopefully not gonna go too deep.
Yeah, it's an interesting play. It's definitely not like... It shouldn't be a committal to, we hedge against all dungeons, because you'd probably ideally want Specialized to do that, since Specialized has already done DC. So it is purely about the checks. I think the idea here is just to, split up areas where, you haven't found Boomerang. The progression dungeons you've been in, you know it's not there. So you're just trying to find places it could be. But yeah, definitely from what we see, it's not going to pay out.
Yeah, Oh boy, I really hope BFA remembers that it's a 4-medallion bridge.
I think they do. I think they're planning around, Specialized, picking up Strength 3 and Deku, getting the 4th reward, and then being able to clear Ganon's. I think that's what they're playing towards. It's just...
Oh, yeah.
a little... You could argue... You could argue for or against doing Forest, again, because Naestriel has progression that they can do, namely Fire, but you're not going to find the Boomerang there, so... Are you just gonna, split your efforts in trying to find the Boomerang, or are you gonna do progression until you can't anymore?
Yeah, and I'm personally in favor of, in a mode like this, while I know that you're not information gathering, whenever you're only looking for one item, get your progression out of the way, and then you can come help with the information hunt.
Yeah, I think I would agree. If we can get BFA in for an interview afterwards, I'd love to hear their thought process on this.
Yeah, if Tacos does wind up with a faster time, which there's a chance that they don't, because Wafo still does have some kind of gross dungeons to finish up. Namely, has to do Shadow, and Blue Fire Arrow entry has already finished that. But it's clock is running out for Blue Fire Arrow entry for every second they don't go into Ganon's castle.
Yeah, and Naestriel found some irons in Forest Temple, which doesn't help any. I think thankfully Specialized is probably going Ganon's after this, so you're not gonna get... I don't think you're gonna get too distracted by those iron boots, but it's a risk that could happen.
Yeah, what's funny is with those Iron Boots locations, though, that was a required gold scale entry.
Yep, that is true.
And yeah, Shannick is pointing out that if Naestriel thought Forest was a good play, they might decide to go Water after this if Specialized doesn't make it into Ganon's by then. Which I think Specialized will. I think that the plan is very likely that Specialized is going to finish up Deku, go grab that key for Spirit, go back Adult, and then go check Ganon's. And yeah, Spec does have 4 rewards. It isn't marked yet, but he has finished Fire Temple as well. And meanwhile, that's Wafo getting his hovers, going to be able to head on into Shadow. And I guess especially while our runners are retreading some paths, now's a good time before we kind of get into the end game, because Vela's gonna be there pretty quick. Now would be a good time to go ahead and do our shoutouts and get them out of the way, even though we're a couple minutes early before the 2-hour mark. So shout out to our runners today for agreeing to be restreamed. Naestriel and TheSpecialize on Team Blue Fire Arrow entry, and on Team Tacos del Chino we have Vela and Wafo. Shout out to our trackers, Veva, McCollier, Baseball, and Shanik. Thank you all so much for keeping track of things so we know what the heck is happening. And I'm Sadie. I'm your restreamer this evening. I'm the crazy person that thought having a 7 p.m. Western America race was a good idea. And thank you to Narvel for being my co-commentator tonight and being the last piece we needed to make sure that this race could be restreamed. So thank you so much, everyone.
And thank you to all of you in Twitch chat for hanging out with us this evening. It's been a blast, and looking forward to see how this race ends, because it's going to be real close, I think.
Oh, it's going to be very close. Yeah.
We've been lucky, I think, to have several pretty close races looking at the race time results, I think. I don't know how many got caught on restream, but I think I saw 1 or 2 races that were even less than a minute difference.
Yeah, I haven't actually been able to catch a ton of the races, which has made me very sad. But it has seemed like our times have been really, really tight with each other.
So Naestriel continuing on in Forest. I don't think the boss key has been found, so don't know if it's purely for checks or if it's an attempt to go for all dungeons here.
Yeah, Naestriel could be a little bit scared of that potential Sun Song AD. But if he was, I would think that you'd want to leave that to Specialize, who has already had Dodonga's Cavern finished up. So, again, interesting kind of call at this point. Yeah, Specialize is about to finish up on Childside Spirit, and then I will be stunned. I will be stunned if Specialize does not go check Ganon's Castle and gives the news to Naestriel. This is going to be tight because Vela is going to have to go through Spirit, which luckily Wafo has already mapped out. But Wafo's got 3 dungeons to go through. While both Naestriel and TheSpecialize only have to go through 2. And it looks like Naestriel's gonna get out of here, which is great.
Yeah, I'm trying to... Did they find 4 or 5 small keys?
I was not counting keys, so I'm gonna leave that one up to chat.
Yeah, because it could be possible this is just to beat Phantom Ganon, and then dive back in to get a key.
4 according to Virgil. Yeah, it's... obviously, as the viewers, we know more information than our runners do. We know that this is not the play on Naestriel's side. Even with that said, I am going to be really interested to talk to them, and I hope that they'll be willing to come into for an interview, because I would love to know what kind of comms are going on right now as far as how they want to divvy things up. Because with how things are looking right now, Vela is very likely to be it is, at this point, going to be the first one to finish. But I don't know if BFA's time might wind up averaging out faster than Wafo's.
Yeah. The main thing here is... So, Wafo is getting close to where he needs to be in Fire Temple. Still has to make it to Compass Chest. And then from there we'll have Go Mode, Shadow, and Jabu.
How gross is the key layout in Shadow? Do you remember?
I don't remember for sure. I think it was... I think you have to go a little ways into Shadow Temple forward. But I think chat knows that better than me.
Yeah, Virgil says Shadow Key layout is free, so it shouldn't be bad. And additionally, we do have Specialize here inside of Gan's Castle right now, so going to be getting that information here soon about the boomerang. I hope, Naestriel, don't go back into forest. Don't go back into forest, Naestriel. Oh, I just realized Naestriel doesn't have Bolero? Wait, no. Where was it? God, right. Just Dungeon Randomizer. Fire is in spirit. Okay.
So, doing some more overworld cleanup for Naestriel. The question will be, when does Specialize get to those scrubs? And hopefully it's not a question of, will Specialize remember the scrubs?
Yeah, that would be painful and hurt. Come on, Naestriel, just play Requiem. Just go do Spirit, or go do Fire.
This is a very deadlight trial.
Yeah, and BFA is making back a bit of time because Vela's having a little bit of trouble on this wall right here. We hate this spirit climb.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I would be tempted to grab the launch shot off of that other Spirit Temple check just to not deal with that moving wall.
Yeah. Oh, we found our third bomb bag. It was strength 3 lock, which means that double wallet lock bomb bag. Sure is our first bomb bag. Okay, Specialize is about to get the info. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. There we go. And Naestriel is out of there.
Yeah, it is a pure race of execution at this point.
Yep, and that's really what it's gonna come down to. Wafo now has 2 more dungeons to beat. 3 of our runners still have to do Jabu. Vela is going to be the first one to finish, but is going to finish decently ahead of Wafo. But that does mean that Naestriel and Specialize are probably going to finish closer to the same time. So we're probably going to watch everyone out to the end. Wow, I just realized that Naestriel is working with the least hearts of anyone in the race right now.
Yeah. Grabbing those 2 fairies makes it makes it bearable for sure, though. But it definitely seems to work out that one person always ends up with way more hearts than the others, although it is pretty even for Taco Style Chino.
Yeah, somehow Wafo has 2 more hearts than Naestriel does. So probably just a consequence of how they split up searching. Probably a consequence of actually not having that hook shot sooner, so doing a couple extra checks. Narvel, at this point, which team do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to have the fastest average time?
Right now, to me, it seems like it's probably going to be Taco Style Chino. I think, of course, Vela is looking like she's going to be the first finisher. And I think just with how much of fire Naestriel has to go through, I think I give the edge to Tacos.
Do you think that if Naestriel had made the call to just work on fire while Specialize was getting that intel, that BFA would have more of a shot?
Yeah, I definitely think that would have made it closer. Obviously that would have been the correct play given how the seed played out, but definitely there's certainly seeds where Forest Temple could pay out. Maybe they got burned by Forest Temple recently or something as well.
Yeah, and that is the interesting thing about Rando, is that what is the most logical play is not always the best play. It makes I can see where BFA would make this call. And that's a Vela heading into Ganon's castle right now. It is unfortunate that she's having to walk there and didn't have Furore set. I did notice that Specialized set Furore's Wind inside of Gan's castle, so he's going to be able to get back there really quick after finishing up his dungeons.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is finishing up the dungeons is going to involve an age change.
Yeah, and the way that it's been routed on BFA side is that both of them are going to be able to Furore Wind back into Gan's castle. Because Naestriel might choose to grab the boomerang and then do the climb, set the Furore's Wind, and then come back after Jabu. I don't know if that's faster.
I believe what you'd want to do here is you'd go in, you go straight to the scrub, obviously, and then I think you just set FW, and you're going to be, when you recall, you're going to be back up the top by the bridge to go in. I think that's probably the play.
Yeah, it's really interesting with Shadow Shortcut on how much faster Shadow can be whenever you are in go mode like this. Because usually if you saw a Fire Tempo clear versus a Shadow Temple clear, it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna take way longer in Shadow Temple. But Wafo's almost at the boss.
Yeah, there are a few places where the boss key can land that makes it, not as nice as you'd like, but pretty much once you're in go mode, Shadow Temple is at least half as slow as normal. Ignoring the logistics of the boat ride anyway.
Yeah, unfortunately there's no fast boat ride. You still gotta take a little trip with the skeletons. And meanwhile, Vela is up here fighting Ganondorf, so we do have our first Ganondorf fight. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. That was a beautiful Ganondorf one cycle.
Yep, very well executed. For me personally, just definitely when you're in go mode, no one's finished yet, and you're on that Ganondorf fight, it's easy to drop the one cycle, but well executed here.
Yeah, Vela is one of my favorite runners that I've started really watching over the last year or two. She's got some great execution. I'm not surprised to see her be the first one to finish today. And just so everyone knows, I'm not going to invite anyone into interview until the entirety of the team has finished, so I'm not going to bring Taco Cell Chino in until Wafo has also finished.
So that's Shadow down for Wafo. And Specialize just finished Spirit Temple. It's a genuine boss rush here on Restream.
Yeah. Oh, and Naestriel's right behind Wafo. Oh dear.
Yeah,
Dear.
their finishes are going to be pretty close.
Well, like you said, it's really going to come down to this execution, because Specialize is going to be the first one to get into Jabu. Wafu's probably going to be second, and then Naestriel's going to be right behind. So this is going to be tight. T-Riz popping in to say, can't wait for the triple Baronade. Yeah, I bet that's not what anyone expected today.
This is perfect because, you know, we all love to watch. Oh, let me shut up for a minute as Vela finishes with the final blow on Ganon.
GG's to Vela for getting that last hit in with a time of 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 18 seconds.
Yeah, the nice thing about the Jabu shortcut on is you don't have to watch triple Jabu, but you do get to say triple clean Baronade.
Yep, and Naestriel is just finishing Fire Temple, so going to be chasing after Wafo in 2 seconds.
Yeah, so Wafo and Naestriel are pretty much basically exactly even.
Yeah, Wafo got that at 2:19:34. So let's see what Naestriel gets and see what the timing looks like. Looking like probably a minute and a half apart.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Alright, and a clean Baronade from the Specialize.
Oh, Naestriel didn't get the information on which scrub it was. Other side, Naestriel. There you go. Left and right are really hard, Naestriel. It's okay. And yeah, that was almost exactly a minute and a half apart. Mido will just automatically average their times together and tell us the winner, right?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest.
I
I
would
think
like
so.
to believe so. I would like to believe that Mido knows how to do basic time math. But he has lived in a forest his entire life, so I also would not put it past him if math is not a strong suit. Baseball is confirming that yes, Mido knows math. Perfect.
Yeah, the shortcut really speeds up Jabu. As we can see, Wafo is already on Baronade.
Yeah, so chat, if you could help us keep time, tell us what Wafo's time is whenever Baronade goes down so that we can see how far apart him and Naestriel actually are. Although, honestly, like, it's very possible Vela finished early enough that it's... Oh! Oh, Wafo doesn't have nuts. Oh, no.
That is one of the downsides of the shortcut, is usually you can pick up those Deku Nuts after the Big Octo fight. But with the shortcut on, nobody's fighting Big Octo.
Yeah, and that is an advantage that Naestriel has, is Naestriel's got like 14 of them. He can lose quite a few nuts and still have nuts left to spare.
Yeah, and fortunately, Butter Knife never turned up either, which is another way you can deal with those the berries as well.
Naestriel might... Okay, that was 224, like, on the dot from Wafo. But Naestriel's gonna get it... They're about 13 seconds apart.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing for BFA entry is going to be that early time Vela put up. It seems most likely that that's going to carry Taco Cell Chino to victory today.
Yeah, but this was a strong showing from both of these runners. Just as a reminder for anyone that came in late, Blue Fire Arrow entry is up a win, while Tacos lost their first race. So this is going to be Taco's first win if they do come out with a higher average time.
Yep, so if they win, the group will have 3 teams at 1-1, and 1 team without any games played.
Yeah, I think that other team is getting in at least one of their races this weekend, because I think I saw that Tacos is doing like 1 or 2 of their other races this weekend. Maybe it was Blue Fire Arrow entry, but I remember seeing that. Sunday is going to be a massive day for races, by the way, everyone. I am going to attempt to make a doubleheader happen. I am going to decide which races I'm going to commit to tonight, and you will see that on the list. But if you are interested in volunteering while we have this co-op tournament happening, please feel free to hop into our Discord, say that you want to track or commentate. I would especially love some more West Coast commentators, so if you want to get here behind the microphone, don't worry, I can teach you. I would love to teach you, because it is a lot of fun in the commentator booth. And speaking of fun, Specialize is about to take down Ganon.
Get the clean reflect with the bottle, and we'll see if we can get the 1 cycle. Had the BGS damage stored, so not too bad to get the 1 cycle there, and Specialized gets it.
Oh, it has me so tense seeing Naestriel and Wafo so close. Honestly, if Naestriel can pull off the one cycle and Wafo doesn't, that will put Naestriel in the lead, at least in this boss fight. Still is probably not going to be enough to catch up to their average time, but...
Yeah, it's looking like I think Vela's probably going to have like a 11, 12-minute lead on Specialize. I believe it was a 2:18:18 was her time. So that's a pretty large deficit there.
Yeah, because that would essentially mean that... Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that there's a way for Naestriel to make up that time, unless something tragic happened on Wafa's side, which we really don't want to see at a Ganon fight. It's dramatic, but it's not necessarily fun.
Both runners have to be careful here with being almost in one-shot range or in one-shot range of the Iron Knuckles. The BGS makes it a little less stressful for Wafo, and gets through it just fine. So does Naestriel.
Yep, and Vela had about 10 minutes on Specialize, so that's GG's on Specialize's side.
Both Wafo and Naestriel in the Ganondorf cutscene at the same time. Wafo just a few seconds ahead here. Ooh, that fall's gonna hurt a little bit.
Remember what I said about something tragic happening? Luckily, that's not going to be enough of a time loss, but that's exactly the thing I was worried about.
Okay, and that is Ganondorf down for Wafo.
And Ganondorf down for Naestriel. Yeah, they are literally gonna done within like seconds of each other.
But great for us on Restream getting to watch all four players finish out the seed. Certainly not a given for any race, but nice that we get to see it this way.
Yeah, I think that the first co-op race I managed to catch, actually, we had a team not finish because it was just so far behind, unfortunately, because of the item placement, which is always unfortunate. So it is really fun whenever we get to see all four of our runners finish a really great seed, and this was a really great seed. I'm really happy this was my first co-op restream this season.
Yeah, definitely a great seed to watch. Some fun item placements, some fun with the wallets. Suspense over where the boomerang would be, but ultimately not a terrible seed.
It would have been better if we had just seen Wasteland. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to have many more matches to restream for me to see Wasteland. At least we got Valley.
Ganon not playing too nice for either runner, but goes down for Wafo.
And goes over Naestriel.
Get your GGs in chat for Wafo and Naestriel, and for both of our teams here.
Yeah, literally the near synchronous. Yep, it was 3 seconds apart. All right. That was so fun. And I have just asked the runners if they want to come in for an interview, so we're going to see if they feel up to it. But that was a great race. That was an incredible race from everyone. I guess I should give Naestriel. Should I give Naestriel his roles back? Should I let him be a restreamer again?
Oh, I suppose we could.
Okay. I am going to just do this. Roles. Give him back the restreamer and the commentator role. And I am going to just... there he is. Hello, Naestriel, GG's, and you too as well, Specialize. How are you feeling?
My execution at the start, I deserved that one.
Outside of Shadow, I feel very fine with how I did.
I didn't think that your execution was that bad, honestly. Yeah, so the big thing that we were wondering in the comms booth was what was sort of going on in your comms whenever, Naestriel, you made the call to go into Forest.
And short answer of that, for whatever reason in my head, Forest was a medallion, so I said, oh, I need to full clear it.
Oh, no.
Indeed. So that's why I stayed. Would I have stayed anyways? Probably not, but I can't swear to it if I would have thought that through.
Oh, no. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but that does make that play make a lot more sense.
But yeah, as soon as I got the stone from it and noticed that no one on our team had gone to Ganon's yet, I went, oof.
Yeah. So that was yeah, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Other than that though, I thought you all played spectacularly. You all were actually the first ones to find the hook shot. Both members of Taco del Chino did not use their bomb chews to go check the Redug Grotto. So you all got that pretty quick.
Indeed. That first bomb bag, though, yeesh.
I was about to say, how do you feel about required double wallet locked bomb bag?
No.
It's beautiful. That's what it is. It's a thing of beauty. I wasn't actually sure if I saw a wallet or bomb bag on top of Volcano when I first peeked, but in the end, it doesn't matter which one it was.
Yeah, we were actually wondering if it was hard to tell, because we actually noticed. I think Wafo, who is in our chat, by the way, GG's Wafo, thank you for popping in. But it seemed like it was kind of hard to differentiate between, like, is that wallet, is that bomb bag? Well, either way, it's gonna get me explosives.
Yeah, and nowhere on Restream did we see another wallet, so it seems likely those might have been all path wallets too.
I believe it. Yeesh. Other
Probably
one maybe
Water
in
Temple.
GTG. Yeah.
Very out of the way water temple that no one was ever going to do.
Yeah, yeah, that was the other thing we got scared of, Naestriel, was whenever you're in forest, you've gold scaled entered into the water temple entrance and you find the irons, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh god, Naestriel, please do not go into water temple. We are begging you.
You have no water, no toilet, please just no. Thankfully, Specialize saved me. But at that point, one of us would have gone in there. I would have gone fire if I didn't find anything after forest, because I had Furores just back to, or I was about to Furores back to forest to get the last check in there when Specialize found the boomerang for us. So my plan at that point was to finish fire, because I knew I was a fire temple behind. And after that, if we didn't find anything, then it would have been water or GTG or some other such horrible nonsense.
The other thing I wanted to ask you all about was something that, because I have not gotten to watch a ton of this season yet. I'm not really sure what the meta's kind of developing as far as opening routing, but something that was really interesting in your early routing was both members of Tacos del Chino decide to stay adult and just took different sections of adult. So they actually found the bow really early and found Dins very early by doing a super early river. You two decide to split up by age. I was wondering if you find a certain advantage to one method over the other, or sort of how you make that call about how to divvy up who goes where.
From what I've seen of the meta, it's somewhat split. I think that the top tier players do generally have both go adult to start. The advantage of going child that I've seen mainly is if you have a nice bomb bag in a shop, like in this seed, but in theory a little bit cheaper. And if you happen to get Nocturne as a child, that just makes the routing as adult much, much easier.
Yeah, and it definitely seemed like that division was, for the most part, serving you, because it did take you long to route back to River. I was kind of worried it would take a little longer, but Specialize, I think you were there before Naestriel.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so it seemed like you were able to route it in just fine, didn't miss anything. It was just, unfortunately, that boomerang hunt.
Yeah. I was always going back to River because of the wallet on Volcano, so I knew I had to go get a bean at some point. Or I wanted to get one, so...
Oh,
But
yeah.
It ended up being very late out of everything I did to go to River.
Yeah, but then you got this wallets, got that bomb bag, were able to kind of blow up the seed a little bit, as it were. So you all are now 1-1. And I think that Narvel, you said that makes their group 3 teams that have 1 win.
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Indeed, and we all have to face ADD, who, you know, they're amateurs over there, right? Oh, good.
I actually have not looked into the teams very much. But yeah,
Okay,
I actually see that your first match against them is in 2 days.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think we're the first to play them, so I mean, we'll definitely try to win, but they're definitely top 64 contenders for winning the whole thing for sure.
Oh, well, that's those are big words, and I wish you luck in that case.
Thank you, because I'm trying to remember. I think it's Master Alex and Drew.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no. Well,
Oh,
I'm going to be wishing you and everyone else in your group luck against that duo. Because God knows that's not the one that I'd want to face my last matches against.
Agreed. But at least we aren't alone. We have good company in Taco Stelchino and Whopper Whopper. We're all in the same boat.
Yeah, and I was actually just looking at when everyone's matches are set up. So, Narvel, do you have any last questions for our lovely Blue Fire Air entry people?
I think it's all been covered. Just thank you for putting on such a great race and letting us restream you. It's been really entertaining.
You're welcome.
Thank you for restreaming us as well.
Yes, that.
Yeah, thank you all for having a match at a time that benefited me specifically.
Just as intended.
Just as intended. But I am disappointed that when you got that magic, you didn't loop back to Wasteland. But it's okay. I get it. I get it.
There, my condolences, though.
It's okay, but I'll be expecting it next time.
Got it. It's how we're gonna beat ADD.
If there is something in Wasteland, you gotta ping me. And speaking of pings, let's give some shout outs. Shout outs to Naestriel and TheSpecialize on Team Blue Fire Arrow entry. Thank you so much. And congratulations to our winners of this match today. The words are hard at this point in the night. Team Tacos del Chino, Vela, and Wafo. They were spectacular. Just a lot of fun. And like I said, Vela is one of the runners that I've really enjoyed watching her growth over the last year. So go follow all of them if you've enjoyed their races today.